Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel in partnership with sharpbetting.co.uk, your home for all your betting tips and expert analysis, not only for boxing but for a multitude of sports like football, horse racing, basketball, and many different events. So, yeah, if you're a big sports fan who likes to dabble every now and then, check out the guys at sharpbetting.co.uk in the description below. It's me, Niall, just here giving a quick reaction to the huge news that broke overnight. That on July 12th, we already gave a reaction to the headline act from New York. It'll be Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda for the WBC World Lightweight title. But now announced has been a few really big, interesting fights across different divisions. I'm going to be dropping reaction videos to those. First of all, we're starting with a WBC title eliminator between Hamza Shiraz and Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, the unbeaten Hamza Shiraz, the Briton, now training in Dublin, of course, under the tutelage of Andy Lee, the very well-respected coach and former world champion, now up at 168 pounds as well, and it's a big test for his first fight at 168 pounds, facing the once beaten massive puncher Edgar Berlanga, who's looking to get back into world title contention himself after a failed attempt at Canelo Alvarez's undisputed crown last year. He didn't disgrace himself in that one at all, and he bounced back a few weeks ago with an emphatic, explosive first round win over, an opponent who left a lot to be desired. But this is an absolutely fascinating fight. Came a bit out of left field. No real rumors of this in the build-up, but I'm a big, big fan of this fight. I really am. Hamza Shiraz, of course, coming off the controversial draw against Carlos Adames for the WBC middleweight title, and a fight a lot of people thought that he lost. I thought Adames edged it myself, but it's understandable the kind of underwhelming performance put in when you realise he broke his hand early on in that fight. We just never got going after that. Was kind of tentative to let the hand go. But I think I'm a big, big fan of Hamza Shiraz. I really am. I think the way he's dealt with opposition, Adame aside, the way he's dealt with the level of opposition as he stepped up through the ranks, has been absolutely outstanding. I think he's very well rounded. Of course, he's huge, huge for the weight. Started off as a super welterweight, which is crazy when you consider his size, and even for a middleweight, he's big. But yeah, huge, rangy, composed boxer, patient. Good, very solid technically. Doesn't rush his work, very calculating, and of course a big, big puncher. I also like the way he carries himself outside the ring, the way he talks. He conducts himself very professionally and very well. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hamza Shiraz, and I think this move up to super middleweight now, we mentioned he was very, very big for super welterweight. He's big for middleweight even, and I think he's going to fit in brilliantly well at 168. I really do. And of course, under the tutelage now of Andy Lee, who's a very, very well respected coach, training out of my hometown now in Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, it's very, very curious to see how that partnership works. I think it'll be a match made in heaven, to be quite honest with you. I think Hamza Shiraz is a perfect fit for the character and the type of coach that Andy Lee is, and I think he'll get the best out of him. I really do. And yeah, I think he'll fit into the weight. I think his attributes, his physique, his kind of dimensions are perfect for the super middleweight division, and a super middleweight division that's not particularly the strongest outside of Canelo Alvarez. I think he can have a lot of success there. He's still a young man, still a very young man, so he can definitely rule. I think he'll be the best super middleweight in the world. When he acclimatizes to the weight, I really do. Yeah, Edgar Berlanga then, of course, the very kind of the voice of Edgar Berlanga. You either love him or you're not a fan. I like Edgar Berlanga. I think he's charismatic. He's much must watch with the explosiveness and the power. A lot of weaknesses there. Of course, we've seen it. He kind of fell in love with his power a little bit after the early knockout streak, but he is a big, big puncher. Very, very raw, very rough around the edges. So a lot of defensive weaknesses, a lot of kind of uh, footwork kind of deficiencies, weaknesses there. But that's all a part of, I suppose, what makes him so exciting. He is must watch, no fighter is perfect, as I said, especially in the super middleweight division. So yeah, that's what makes it a very fascinating fighter to watch, and that power is just so dangerous. And yeah, he's looking to kind of he'll be the underdog here, and I think he'll kind of relish the opportunity of being the underdog and upsetting the apple cart against Hamza Shiraz. But somebody's getting knocked out here. That's one guarantee, that you can guarantee with this. Somebody's getting knocked out. The power of both men. It if it went to a points decision, that'd be the biggest shock in the night. So yeah, it's a really really interesting fight. Prediction time, early prediction of course so far, but I'm going for Hamza Shiraz just for being too versatile for Berlanga. As I mentioned, Berlanga has a lot of weaknesses. Hamza Shiraz for me doesn't have many weaknesses, which is, I know I might get a few eyebrows raised after the performance against Carlos Adames, but I think he was injured in that fight early on, and that was clear the performance even before we found out. So yeah, I think that Hamza Shiraz will be on song. He'll be too composed. He'll be too technically solid, too defensively solid, and he can bang himself. He can uh, really punch hard himself. So I think he'll be more patient. I think Berlanga's recklessness in this one will cost him, and he'll open himself up to something huge from a more composed and calculated Hamza Shiraz. But yeah, as I say, if Berlanga catches Sheeraz, a fully fledged super middleweight against a middleweight who, although he's big, he's coming up for his first fight at the weight. So be very interesting to see when Berlanga catches him how Sheeraz reacts to that. But yeah, I think Sheeraz will dig it out and just be too composed, too patient, and you'll catch Berlanga with something big and get him out there. For 8 round stoppage for Hamza Shiraz, the Briton, up at a new weight class now with a new trainer. And what a welcome to 168 he's going to have against Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, it's a really interesting fight. This one, I was really excited when I seen the breaking news overnight that this was announced for the huge July 12th card in New York, headlined by Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda for the WBC World Lightweight title. Also on the card that was announced, a WBC super lightweight title fight between Alberto Puello and former world champion Subriel Matias. Um, David Morrell Jr. looking back to get back into the winning column after the David Benavidez fight against the unbeaten Imam Katayev. That would be a fascinating fight as well. Katayev, a really capable fighter, but yeah, huge card in New York in July. I can't wait for this one. And yeah, that was just my quick reaction to one of the fights on the card. Hamza Shiraz, the unbeaten Hamza Shiraz, up at 168, new trainer facing Edgar Berlanga, who's also looking to get his career back on track after the Canelo loss. So, yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. How excited are you for this one? Do you agree with my assessment? Is Hamza Shiraz too well rounded, or is Berlanga too big and too powerful for him? Let us know. Get involved down in the comments below. Please like the video. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing. Follow us on all social media, and of course check out the guys at sharpbetting.co.uk in the description below. Until next time, take care.